As the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix weekend kicked off, Hamilton's supporters held their breath. The track, known for its unforgiving heat and technical corners. Hype ran sky high, especially after glimpses of promising pace in practice. But come Saturday's qualifying, Hamilton's performance shattered those expectations. 9th place, nearly 6/10 behind Leclerc. Media outlets pounced, calling it a disaster. Hamilton's radio message, an apology laced with sincere regret, floated across every headline. "I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry," he had said, summing up not only his disappointment, but his awareness of a deeper problem. He admitted he wasn't meshing with the car, wasn't maximising its potential on a single flying lap. Fans flooded the internet with alarmist takes, some even claiming he might never adapt. Critics began labelling him as past his prime, an icon stumbling into the twilight of his career. Yet Sunday's race felt like watching an entirely different Hamilton. He stormed through the field with strategic brilliance, pulling off a sequence of overtakes that reminded everyone of the champion's prime. The highlight of that charge was his pass on Max Verstappen, an overtake so clean yet aggressive that it evoked memories of their legendary battles from 2021 to 2023. Twitter feeds exploded with clips of the move, praising Hamilton's racecraft and tenacity. He finished well ahead of his original starting position, making that dismal qualifying session feel like a distant memory. What changed between Saturday and Sunday? Some argued it was Hamilton's gift for tyre management, honed over years of dominating in a Mercedes that required precise yet forceful input. Others believed it was just the unpredictable nature of Bahrain, where track temperatures and wind direction can transform the entire weekend. But most agreed that Hamilton still had the fire. He hadn't lost that championship DNA. It was simply buried under layers of adaptation he was forced to master overnight. Ferrari's engineers breathed a collective sigh of relief. The SF-25 didn't appear so hopeless anymore, and Hamilton's performance underlined the potential synergy waiting to be unlocked. The Driver of the Day vote was a landslide for Hamilton, proving that the fans still recognised his spark and wanted to believe in a comeback. Hamilton, for his part, downplayed the achievement with a mix of humility and resolve, thanking the team for a great car on Sunday, but also reminding everyone that real consistency would only come once qualifying performance matched his race pace. That weekend in Bahrain was more than just a result, it was a statement. Hamilton showed he could still produce jaw-dropping drives even when trapped in the jaws of adversity. The question now is whether he could fuse that Sunday magic into every aspect of the race weekend. If Bahrain's Sunday was a preview, the rest of the grid had been put on high alert. Hamilton was wounded, maybe, but far from finished. While the Bahrain result sparked hope, it also amplified the glaring comparisons between Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. The Monegasque was already a star at Ferrari, beloved by the Tifosi for his poise, speed, and unwavering loyalty to the team's heritage. Now, with Hamilton in the adjacent garage, fans couldn't help but choose sides. Was Ferrari's future still pinned on Leclerc? Or did Hamilton's presence signal a new approach altogether? In the aftermath of that weekend, rumours swirled about how Ferrari allocated resources. One narrative suggested that the team, desperate for a championship, was funneling cutting-edge updates directly to Hamilton. Another rumour insisted the opposite, that Leclerc maintained a privileged status, with Hamilton left to fend for himself. Both couldn't be true, yet both circulated widely. Tension and speculation soared. As the European races began, fans started noticing the body language between the two drivers. Press conferences turned awkward whenever they were asked whether they shared data or collaborated effectively on car development. Leclerc often flashed a courteous smile, refusing to fan any flames. Hamilton, on the other hand, was candid enough to admit that he and Leclerc had different driving styles, but carefully avoided directly accusing Ferrari of favouritism. For a team hoping to foster unity, the swirl of rumours was a headache. For watchers, it was an irresistible source of drama. Beyond the garage, the fan bases waged their own war. Social media turned every small remark into a big deal. If Hamilton praised the new aerodynamic package, certain corners of the internet twisted it into an indirect dig at Leclerc. If Leclerc underperformed, another contingent accused Hamilton of overshadowing him with demands for unique setups. The world watched as Ferrari's two star drivers navigated a political minefield, both on the track and off it. What gave this rivalry its edge was Ferrari's storied tradition of picking a clear number one driver. For decades, the Scuderia often organised itself around a single figure, from Michael Schumacher to Fernando Alonso. But with Hamilton's arrival, would Ferrari revert to those old ways or try to balance two alpha drivers simultaneously? For now, they claimed the latter. Official statements insisted that both Hamilton and Leclerc received equal treatment and that they could push each other to elevate the team's overall performance. And yet, the whispers persisted. People questioned whether each driver had the same specification of power units, the same floor upgrades, or the same opportunity to shape the car's direction. Ultimately, the real answer might only reveal itself in the subtle details of race strategy, pit stop priorities, and the fine margins that define success in Formula One. One thing is certain. In a team that's historically prone to internal drama, the Hamilton-Leclerc dynamic carried the potential for explosive moments that could redefine Ferrari's legacy for better or worse. Despite the intense pressure on both Hamilton and Ferrari, the engineering squad refused to slow down. They poured resources into rapid development, unveiling a series of major updates by the time the circus arrived in Bahrain. This was no mere minor tweak. The floor underwent a radical redesign, the diffuser got an aerodynamic facelift, and the brake ducts saw a structural overhaul. It felt like an all-or-nothing push, signalling that Ferrari wasn't content to remain in anyone else's shadow. Hamilton had been vocal about where he felt the car lagged behind his old machinery. At first, this bluntness rubbed some Ferrari purists the wrong way, but when the new floor delivered tangible lap time gains, some of his earlier criticism seemed validated. He thanked the engineering team publicly, something he rarely did so early in a weekend. Suddenly, it felt like both sides were inching closer to a shared language, bridging the gap between Hamilton's expectations and Ferrari's technical reality. Yet the improvements also exposed philosophical divisions within the team. Charles Leclerc praised the updates but downplayed their impact, hinting that McLaren remained on another planet. Hamilton, however, radiated optimism. He believed these changes addressed the fundamental imbalance he'd wrestled with from day one. Speculation arose that the updates were more tailored to Hamilton's style, possibly giving him an edge Leclerc never asked for. Ferrari denied playing favourites, but that didn't stop the rumour mill. Bahrain provided the perfect testing ground for these new components. On the fast, open sections, Hamilton seemed more comfortable, confidently carrying speed into corners where he previously tiptoed. Even in slower turns, the car reacted better under braking, giving him the flexibility to utilise the engine braking he'd once found so alien. While Saturday's mishap still loomed large, Sunday showcased the car's potential in the hands of a driver determined to break free from old habits. Leclerc, on the other hand, made it clear he wasn't fully convinced. In interviews, he acknowledged progress, but maintained Ferrari was chasing an ever-distant frontrunner. While Hamilton's adaptation curve was steep, Leclerc's own comfort with the updates seemed lukewarm. This discrepancy fueled speculation that Ferrari risked dividing the garage in the pursuit of Hamilton's specific preferences. Still, the notion of a re-energized Ferrari galvanized fans worldwide. The Tifosi have endured a long title drought, watching Mercedes and Red Bull claim the spoils. If these upgrades could vault Ferrari into genuine contention, then perhaps Hamilton's controversial arrival would be vindicated. For many, seeing a prancing horse capable of challenging for wins evokes memories of the Schumacher era, an era Hamilton has publicly admired. In this swirl of mechanical breakthroughs and internal politics, one message emerged clearly. Ferrari wasn't standing still. Every aerodynamic fin, every brake duct revision, and every software update told the story of a team racing against time, determined to catch and surpass the competition. And in the centre of it all stood Hamilton, forging a precarious alliance with the team he once competed against so fiercely.